Hi and welcome back. This video is going to be about the fuel tank installation on the SIG Kadet LT-40. And if you note in the manual on page 15 and next page 16, gives you lots of nice pictures and a bit about what to do. I'm going to go into a bit more detail. This is what I consider a critical step 2, because the tank gets basically glued in, and once you get it in there you don't really ever want to take it out. So you want to do this carefully. I've got about I did a dry run obviously, got about 12 steps that we'll go through, and so because this is what I consider to be critical, we're going to go through it very carefully. We'll get started in just a minute here. Okay, these are the things you're going to need to install the fuel tank in the airplane. First off, you're going to need the fuel tank that came with the aircraft. Note that it is directional in that you want the stopper and the opening here to be up like that in the airplane. Don't put it in upside down. That would be that bad. Okay, and the other thing you came with the aircraft is the stopper, and I'll explain all these tubes in just a minute. I'm going to be using a 3-line tank, so 2 of the lines are inside, and one of them will have this bubbleless clunk, and the other one will have the little metal clunk that came with it. The bubbleless clunk was from OS, non-bubble weight they call it. I use 3 different colors of fuel tubing. They're almost identical in price. So I use the blue, the green, and the orange, and I'll explain how they're used in just a minute. The tank needs to be held in place while the silicone sealant dries, and I use this dense foam. I'm not sure how I got it. Obviously something was in it. And but it's very good. It's hard, but it's flexible, and I've got it cut to the right size so it can wedge behind the tank and the former behind it to hold it in place. This little wooden block came with the airplane, and after the silicone dries we'll put that in, but this is going to hold it while it dries. This is a silicone sealant I use. It's made by GE. It's 100% silicone. There is no acrylic in it. The reason I don't like acrylic is acrylic dries out where silicone won't. And so I use 100% silicone. It's a sealant, not an adhesive. You don't really want an adhesive. The sealant will stick enough and the thing's going to stay in place without any problem. Because I use that kind of tube, I need a caulking gun. The silicone sealant requires mineral spirits to clean up. So this is odorless mineral spirits that I got at Ace Hardware. By the way, if you see that the sealant that you're using it cleans up with water, then it's based on acrylic and not silicone. Even if it says siliconized acrylic, it's still got acrylic, and that's not what you want. You want 100% silicone. I also got some wooden sticks to assist in the cleanup, and I just dropped one on the floor. Some rags and some paper towels. So that's everything we need to get started. The last thing is already in the airplane, which is the support for the fuel tank, and I'll explain why it's in there. The reason is when I was test fitting this in, this thing is very brittle, and it was a very tight fit, and rather than try to pull it out, I thought I might end up breaking it, so I just left it in there, and then you'll get to see in the next video how I glued it in. So with that said, we'll go on to the next video. Next clip of this video, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm behind the camera again, and the first step in installing the fuel tank, so I'm at the front of the airplane, and the fuel tank support is a little piece of plywood right here. Okay, now I haven't glued this in, but this support is very fragile. It's easily broken. It's an extremely tight fit, and I've decided, rather than pull it out and show you how I put it in, I don't want to risk breaking it pulling it out. So be extremely careful in putting it in. I did put it in straight in, and you can wiggle the side slightly like that, and you can actually push from here to here and get it vertical. I know it's vertical because the you can see the line here where the cutout is, and then this is vertical to that, and the same thing on this side. You got a line here. So that's my definition of vertical, is the two lines are parallel. Now this needs to be glued in, and you can apply the glue after it's in, and I'm going to apply medium CA because there is a slight gap up and down. Like there's a gap here, but it's tight along here, but there's a gap here. There's a gap here, but tight up here. And you want to be careful to not get any CA anywhere near the nose wheel steering push rod here. I'll be very careful when I put the glue here to not get it anywhere near that, and the glue up here and on both sides. So when I do this, I am going to tilt the airplane 90 degrees so that the glue doesn't run straight down. I don't want to put the glue here and run straight down. I want to apply the glue this way, with this side being parallel to the ground. So let me get that set up, and we'll do that shot next. Okay, so here we go. I've got the airplane sitting on its side, so that when I put the CA in, it won't run too far. I'm going to hold it down to make sure it's nice and level. Get the CA running. This is medium CA, and it is a little thick. Alright, I actually moved the stuff. Okay. I got some paper towels to wipe that off with. Now, noticing how thick that is, and see how it's running. There we go. Now we can see it better. Okay, so I want that nice and straight. And on the other side, I'm going to put some thin CA. So let me go get some thin CA. Hold on one second. I'm going to use the thin CA and the little applicator tube to alright, that CA is going to hold alright there. Now on this one, I'm going to get the CA started and just apply a nice thin coat of CA right there. Okay, now I noticed that the thick CA has pulled at the bottom just a little bit, but it's not going up anywhere near the push rod. That'll be okay. The thin CA on that side is going to be okay. So I'm going to now wait probably 20-30 minutes for that to set better, and we'll come back and see how it does before I turn the aircraft around and do the other side. Okay, I'm back. For the other side of the aircraft, I let it dry over 30 minutes. It was still a little gooey, so I did use some Instaset CA kicker, I guess they're called. And when I look at this side we haven't done yet, if I shine my light there, I can't see but any light coming through on the bottom there. So it's tight enough, I think, that I can use thin CA on both sides. So I've got my thin CA bottle here. Okay, I got it started. Let's just run a bead of thin CA right here. Okay, and then on this side we'll run a bead of thin CA right there, and up a little bit on that one, and up a little bit on this one. Since there's no push rod on that side to get in the way. And I think, let me inspect here, I think that's going to hold nicely. Okay, thin CA on that side only. The other one had a little more gap, and I think that's going to work. That's it for gluing the tank support in place.